I'm continuing my visits here in the Miami area while I'm in town for MODA 2026, and next stop I want to make is this place here called Squadra Lupo, and it's an insane dealership showroom, almost like museum, with incredible selection of cars ranging from exotics, race cars, prototypes, rally cars, all sorts of interesting stuff. A very nice eclectic mix of cars in there, and I'm excited to check out what they have because I've never been here before, but I've heard great things. So stick around and watch this showroom tour because we're gonna go in there and see what they've got. Stepping foot into the showroom at the Squadra Lupo location, you are greeted with some absolute legends, specifically rally cars and other homologation specials. Starting off right here with the legendary Ford RS200 rally car we see parked next to an original Subaru 22B STI. And then beyond that, we can see a Ford RS Cosworth, one of 9 specific special editions here to commemorate Ford's Formula One efforts at the time in this livery. I believe, again, this is only one of 9. You can see here the badge at the back for F1 Aero's Escort. So special edition of the already exceptionally rare RS Cosworth that they built in the 90s. And then here we have a McRae Series first gen Impreza WRX, again, built to commemorate Subaru and Colin's success in the Rally Championship at the time. Next to another rally legend, the Lancia Delta HF Integrale. And then here's something really interesting. We saw the 22B earlier, but this is the P25 from ProDrive, basically a modern resto mod of the legendary Subaru 22B, available with sequential or fully traditional manual transmissions. And they're only making 25 of these. You can see there the ProDrive branding from the constructor, the legendary race car crafter that has built many amazing machines over the years, have turned their attention to their first resto mod project, at least the first to my knowledge. But that is incredible to see. Again, only 25. I didn't even know these were getting released in final form to customers yet, but that is super special. And then next to one of my all-time favorite race cars, of course not in the rally department, but in the touring car department, specifically DTM. This is the Alfa Romeo 155 V6 Ti that raced in the DTM series. This specific car we're looking at is not a replica, it's the real thing. It's the 93 championship winner. And man, it is just so menacing. There are so many cool liveries from this car that they entered in the racing series in the 90s when they were making the 155 street car. I don't know which is my favorite, but everything about this is just so cool. I love the way this rear wing, this almost like box style wing, is tacked onto the rear trunk lid there. The wide body kit, of course, slammed down with the extra aerodynamics for racing performance, and the Speedline wheels. Super aggressive and wide front end. Just so cool to see that. One of my favorite DTM cars of all time, no doubt. You typically think of the German brands when it comes to DTM, of course, because it's their touring car series. But Alfa had this, and it dominated. Beyond that, we have Mercedes-AMG GT2 Pro, basically the track series car in GT2 spec that you could buy if you wanted to, if you were a racing client of Mercedes-AMG, basically. You could buy this similar to how you could buy a Ferrari Challenge car, something to that effect, right? So not sure how many of these there are, but really cool to see that. Of course, they do race still to this day, I think, the AMG GT and GT2, GT3, GT4 classes. So this is their customer purchasable GT2 Pro model. Really cool. Next to that, I have one of the original, or the standard, I should say, RS Cosworth Escorts from Ford. And we have a Peugeot 205 green, not a GTI or anything of that effect, just a normal 205 that's got under 200 kilometers on it. And I guess the green trim was like signifying the economical spec, hence the pretty pared back appearance and really skinny tires. But cool to see. 205, nonetheless, they've aged very well. And then here, a duplicate of my favorite, the Martini livery here on this 1.5 155 DTM V6 Ti is also exceptional to see with the white OZ Racing wheels. Just so insane, so much attitude. I can't express enough how much I love these. This one, I believe, is the 96 year championship car. And then in the center here, a very special version of the second gen Ford GT, being one of the 30 liquid carbon models in fully exposed carbon fiber. Very sleek. Next to one of the other rally legends, WRX STI. And another one here is the Toyota Corolla WRC, driven by Carlos Sainz Sr. Awesome to see that, because Toyota, of course, much like Subaru, also has a very successful rally history. And I've never seen one of those before, so very cool. There's more of the Impreza, jacked up at the moment. And then here's something really exotic. This is, of course, a Pagani Huayra, but it's one of the BC models, a coupe model, which I believe there were only 20 of those itself. There were another 40 Huayra BC Roadsters, but there were 20 BC coupes like this. But it's a little bit more special than that. For the keen viewers here, you'll notice some slight differences in the exterior design and aero work of this car, because it has the optional Tempesta package from Pagani, which is said to be only one of 5 in existence of those 20 BC coupes that have the Tempesta pack. You can see appropriately branded as Tempesta here at the rear underneath the Huayra BC badge. But think of this basically like what Ferrari do with their XX Evo packages or something to that effect, where you can send the car in to have it quote unquote upgraded with a different package that offers more performance tweaks, of course, but also some aerodynamic enhancements like additional components to the wings and the diffuser and the side skirts and canards, so on and so forth. You can see some of that here at the door. This additional panel here that was bolted in to the gull wing door. Continuing some of the aero channels that connect down there from the fender behind the rear wheels. And again, more at the front here that you can see, just giving it overall a racier, more aggressive look. So, you know, Huayra, any Huayra is a rare bird. BC, even more so. But one with the Tempesta pack is a true spot. So that's pretty cool to get a close look at that. In front of a couple more exotics, DBS Superleggera Aston Martin and 911 GT2 RS from the end of the 991 cars. And then back here, looks like we've got a 2000s Indy car sitting here next to another Corolla WRC in a different livery from that period, but another one of Toyota's rally legends. Up at the second level of Squadra Lupo, we have some pretty cool cars. Real quick, just because they're doing some work up here, I don't want to disturb them too much, but got a Morgan three-wheeler. Always cool to see one of those. Over there, of course, some more rally homologation legends with the Renault 5 Turbo 2, Peugeot 205 Rally, and Mercedes 190e Turbo Evo 1. Turning around here, some modern stuff. The second gen of the V12 Vantage Coupe from Aston Martin, the 2018 Dodge Demon Panamera GTS, and then something really interesting over here, Praga R1R, the Czech track car. Of course, now they're making the Bohema, slightly larger road legal supercar that they recently revealed, but before that, they were known for this, the R1R, which of course is a totally stripped down, lightweight track monster that you can jump in to just attack lap times. Fully, I mean, almost fully exposed. You know, it's just barely not an open wheel car. You can see the tires exposed there with just very minimal bodywork solely for the purposes of aero efficiency. Some panels removed here where you can see the front suspension, and it's just super low, single seater. There's your race cockpit with, of course, the steering wheel detached and the aggressive rear end. Almost looks like a hill climb car with the level of aero work they have going on here. Wild stuff. And more amazing cars here as you step into the Squadra Lupo service bay. Got a pair of Renault 5 Turbo 2s here, the mid-engine rally homologation special. Crazy hot hatches. We also got the E30 M3 over here, and then we have a special Lamborghini Gallardo up here. Not a Superleggera, but a Squadra Corsa car that was created at the tail end of the Gallardo's run before it got replaced by the Huracan. You had 50 of these with the all-wheel drive system, but updated facelift designs in the front and rear bumpers, and the added performance, sending off the Gallardo line. Very cool to see that. Moving over here, we've got another E30 M3 next to a Lancer Evo 6, probably my favorite of all the Evos. Rally legend again. And then behind it here, a Toyota Land Cruiser 80 Series Dakar vehicle with racing seats, lifted suspension, off-road tires, the whole kit you'd expect for racing in Dakar. Very cool. Then you also have one of the BMW M3 GTs over here, one of I think 350. The higher performance lightened version of the E36 chassis that we got here in the North American market, next to another one of my favorite mid-engine rally homologation specials here, the Peugeot 205 Turbo 16. Just looking so menacing, so wide, because of course they're shoving the engine in the rear compartment where the cargo would normally go. So you have these intakes feeding the engine, you have those carpeted panels you can see through the window there that are covering the engine. And then you're sitting literally in the cabin with the engine. These things are so cool. I don't recall how many of these they made, but again, to homologate the 205 vehicles they were taking, rallying at the time in period, they had to build some of these, and they are the wildest iteration of the 205 that you can get on the street, beyond what we've already seen here at Squadra Lupo, like the 205 Rally trim, the normal 205s, and then of course there was the 205 GTI that popularized some of the hot hatch sales in that segment. But the T16 was the top dog, and where else are you going to find one short of a Peugeot museum? What a wild collection of cars that is here at the Squadra Lupo showroom. So much fun checking these out. Cars that not only are rare, but just interesting acquisitions of legendary race cars and track vehicles with incredibly rare specifications at low production numbers. And this one again has been on my list to visit. Glad I could make the opportunity to stop by here during MODA Miami weekend 2026, and wanted to give a shout out to the guys here at Squadra Lupo, Pablo and JP, for welcoming me in and giving me a full tour and telling me more about all these amazing cars. Truly is an amazing facility here that they moved into not too long ago. So if you're in the Miami area, go to their website, see if you can book a visit, because the tour is definitely worth it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you think of this content, and follow along for more from Miami Week and MODA Weekend 2026.